So we have discussed when emergency can be declared at until what time the emergency can be extended. Now at what time the emergency should be revoked. So there is also provision for that. The President of India can revoke at any time under if he decides to revoke today, then he can do it. Okay, there is no need of getting an approval from the parliaments like the Lok Sabha and the rest. There is no voting and discussion, everything. When the president declares the emergency is revoked, then the country will go back to its normal position. The emergency must be revoked by the Lok Sabha if the Lok Sabha passes a resolution by a simple majority is approving its continuation. That means the emergency must be revoked by if the Lok Sabha passes a resolution by a simple majority disapproving its continuation. So there is another thing is called as, for example, in our parliamentary democracy, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, the elections is happening to these assemblies happening in different times. So the political parties have again a chance. There is no need that the current ruling political party will be in the majority in the Rajya Sabha. Maybe Lok Sabha they will have the majority. In the Rajya Sabha they does not have. So if you put some vote, if you put a bill for vote, there is no chance. There is a 50-50 chance that this bill has to be considered into an act, and then it's into a law, converted into law. So like that, this same things happens to the this thing. For example, the emergency bill also. So for this emergency or bill, what happens is that if the president and the Rajya Sabha has the majority and they have decided to continue the there is an ongoing emergency like extending up to 6 months like that. But in case if the Lok Sabha has the majority of another party like opposition party or the previous the opposition to the current whatever, normally the president and the Rajya Sabha has a president belongs to a political association, and the Rajya Sabha the majority has some same association, but the Lok Sabha is not having the same association as it happens, right? I don't want to give some examples to you. Anyway, you understand the things. If there is a there is a position like that, then the Lok Sabha can unanimously pass its own resolution through that, if that for just stopping or revoking the declared emergency. So here what we have to do, not only president has the power, Lok Sabha also has the power to revoke the emergency. Okay, so that's all about the emergency. So there are so many things I have discussed. You have to note it down one by one so that you won't forget. Now let's discuss the effects of national emergency. That in this part only you will understand the difficulties or what the people are talking about the emergency. That's going to discuss in this part. Okay, effects of national emergency. A proclamation of emergency has drastic and wide-ranging effects on the political system. These consequences can be grounded into three categories. First thing is effects on the center and state relations, and we are going to discuss that first. Okay, while a proclamation of emergency is in force, the normal fabric of the center-state relations undergoes a basic change. This can be studied under these three heads. That's first one is called executive. Center becomes entitled to give executive directions to a state at any matter. That means, for example, if an emergency has been declared, now what happens? The effects, the after effects that we are going to observe, the people of this country is going to observe. First thing is called as effects on the center and state relation. So the federal structure, we know that we have the three-tier systems and all. Anyway, we leave it. We directly go to the center and the state. Okay, so central government will be there and the state government will be there. Now, if an emergency has declared, the center, the executive orders. Executive means what? The governor, okay, the administrative officers, the police, the army, not the police, and everything, those who are running the government, not the legislators or the MLAs or MPs, any executive action, it's ministers, executive, okay, chief ministers, the office of the ministers, everything is come under the executive, those who implements the law. They are called as executives. Okay, so center becomes entitled to give executive directions to state in any matter, whatever may be the matter. Center, under the control of the center, the state will come under. Okay, the first thing. And the second thing is for the legislative. The parliament become empowered to make laws on any subject mentioned in the state list. The president can issue ordinance on state subjects also. the parliament is not in session. Okay, the laws made on state subjects by the parliament becomes inoperative 6 months after the emergency has ceased to be in operation. Okay, this is the most that's how emergency works. Like, if there are three lists, like state list, central list, and concurrent list. Okay, three lists in the constitution, where laws can be made only by the respective parliaments, or like the respective assemblies. Okay, central list means only the parliament, and state list only the respective state assemblies, and the concurrent both can do this. Okay, so now the center has the ultimate power, and the center will makes laws for state or state subjects, whatever the list, whatever the things which is written in the state list. The center is entitled to make laws. They can impose the laws that is made by the maybe it goes against the interest of the state. Okay, anyway, that's the second thing. And also, president can impose ordinances if the parliament is not in session. Okay, the laws made on state subjects by the parliament becomes inoperative 6 months after the emergency has ceased to be in operation. That means after the when the in the emergency the laws made on the state subject by the parliament becomes inoperative 6 months after the that means, like, during an emergency, when the government of India or the central government or central people, they have declared some kind of, like, they have imposed some laws on the state subject, for example, anything. But the emergency is revoked right now. After a short term of tenure, the emergency is revoked. But until a 6 months period, still there will emergency. The laws which is passed during the emergency will be on the head of the state subject. So state list. Okay, state government. So government cannot escape that imposition. Okay. So 6 months they have the waiting period, then only they can go to the normal state. Okay, and the financial thing, the president can modify the constitutional distribution of revenues between the center and state. So there are so many funds we have: consolidated fund of India, contingent fund of India, so many funds and so many grants. Everything is there are something like how much in the budget, how much fund each state has. The center is going to give to each state. So now the center can change the decisions. Earlier, maybe like in the budget, maybe like this much of crores rupees, over 10,000 crores is going to be given to the state of Bihar or Punjab or Kerala or Haryana. Now they can change. Okay, we are not going to give any kind of financial assistance to the state. They can decide it. So these are all the situations when the center provokes or invokes the emergency. Okay, now effects on the life of the Lok Sabha and State Assembly. Now we are going to discuss about this is the center state relations. Now we are going inside that we are going to discuss the Lok Sabha and the State Assembly. Okay, while a proclamation of national emergency in operation, the life of the Lok Sabha may be extended beyond the normal term for 1 year at a time. Okay, that means, however, the extensions cannot continue beyond a period of 6 months after the emergency has ceased to operate. That means, if I declare if the president declare the emergency right now, so it can go indefinite. You know that by every 6 months they have to get the reapproval by the both houses continuously. Then it will go indefinite. But after 5 years, you know that something called as Lok Sabha will become inoperative because the tenure is over, right? But there is another operation is called as while the emergency, the president or they can declare or they can do something, that is the life of the Lok Sabha can be extended to 1 more year, that is 6 years. Now if the life of the Lok Sabha becomes 6 years, earlier 5 years, but the current ruling political party can increase it to do one more year. So there is an extension, there is a provision for that. And also, if the current this thing, for example, the emergency is revoked, again 6 months will be there. Anyway, 5.5 years Lok Sabha can be extended. Okay, similarly, the parliament may extend the normal tenure of a state legislative assembly 1 year each time during a national emergency, subject to a maximum period of 6 months after the emergency has ceased to operate. The same thing happens to the state assemblies also. The national government or the central government can extend the tenure of the state legislative assemblies, that is Vidhan Sabhas, okay, to 1 more year. Also, they can, if the emergency is revoked, again 6 months, the 6 months, the emergency will be there. The laws which is declared on the during the emergency will be there, and the current legislative assembly will function 6 months more. Okay, that's how it works. And effects on fundamental rights, that's the most important and a vital part that has to be learned while discussing the emergency. So this topic will be discussed in the third video. Okay, till then we will Bye.